Peace and blessings, everybody out there. This is Exodus Radio. You're here for another episode with myself, my co-host, Sister Yad, Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program. Chief Foday will be joining us here momentarily. And today's show, we are going to be talking about some of the craziest and most eventful things to happen here in 2020. So we're going to have a little bit of a fun show today. We're going to reminisce a little bit, recap this year, which has been historic on so many levels. And so we're going to talk about that today. And we encourage all of you guys to chime in. Make sure to share in the comments. We'll be watching throughout the show. Let us know what you feel like are some of the craziest things that happened this year. We're going to talk about those on this show. Sister Ya is in the Uber right now. What's going on, Sister Ya?
Yeah. Brother, they called me and told me that my residency permits for me and the kids were ready. I left home at 12, but, Accra traffic is the worst. And I got up here, and then, the good news is I got residency permit. So
nice.
Yeah, the bad news is, not that bad, but it's they lost my son's passport. So they gave me mine, they gave me my daughter's, and I'm like, okay, where's the other one? And they were like, looking at me like I was crying. I was like, yeah, my son's. So I sat there for an hour and a half while they tried to go locate it, but just told me to go ahead and go home, and they're gonna call me tomorrow. And they think it's in the boss's office, and the boss is gone, and his office is closed. And I said, so you want me to drive? You want me to come back all the way up here tomorrow through what I just went? He was like, no, where you live? And I told him. He said, now we'll have somebody deliver it to you. I was like, what? So I said, okay. But I just want everybody to know, listen, I got residency for 2 years with me and each of my kids, and it was very inexpensive, and I didn't have to bribe anybody, and the process was very easy. A lot of people have all these negative ideas about what it takes, in Africa, but I just went in, I followed the procedure, paid the minimal, the little fee that they asked, and and I got my residency permit. So I just want to bring that up because I keep telling everybody, find out what the immigration laws are for every country that you go to. Don't just post up in somebody's country. Follow immigration rules. And I'm wearing the mask, and I hope y'all can hear me, but I'm in the Uber. And that's part of the rule of riding in Uber is you have to keep your mask on.
Well, let's make sure you definitely follow all the protocols, keeping everybody safe out there. But I'm excited to hear that you have your residency permits for you and the kids. You guys are legit there, man. Let's keep on climbing.
Absolutely. Citizenship is next. That's the next stop. Citizenship. Yeah.
Nice. For sure. So
I didn't want to miss the show. I said I'm just gonna have to join from the car because I didn't want to miss it. We got a really good show coming up today.
Yeah, man. So we've been we've been through it this year. It's been like I say, historic on so many levels. Just with all of the deaths, the celebrity deaths, the crazy weather patterns, the political ups and downs, the civil unrest. We're going to get into it all. I know around the world there have been a lot of major events. So, first of all, we're talking about events that are obviously directly impacting us and our people, but around the world, there are a lot of people who've gone through it this year. So, we're gonna get into all of those as well. First of all,
2020 has been a roller coaster.
It's been more than a roller coaster. It's been like a runaway train.
Right. Right.
Out of control. Completely out of control. So what I was going to say is before we get into our list of craziest things that will happen this year, Make sure you guys go ahead and like this video, share it onto your feed. Let's get folks in on the conversation. Let's have a little fun today. You guys get in the comments. I want to see where are you guys watching from? Where are you tuning in from? What are your interests in the continent? Where are you interested in coming or visiting or relocating to? Let's get interactive on this show today. I want to have some fun. I want to talk to the people. What about you, Sister? Yeah.
Same here. Absolutely, brother.
So, man, let's take it from the top, and this is probably one of the most heartbreaking ones of the year. But how can we start off 2020 without mentioning Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
So
that was a tragedy. We lost some good people this year, and yeah, that was one of the major unexpected, just out of the blue. And then his daughter too. That was crazy.
Man, I think that was what made it. That was really what tore everybody's hearts out. Was that not only his daughter, but the other kids that were there and the other families. Just a really heartbreaking change. And they say the way you bring in a day, the way you wake up in the morning is how you kind of channel your day. And it's almost like Kobe Bryant was how we woke up in 2020. That was our roll out of bed moment. That
Right.
just, I feel like, changed the whole course of the year a little bit, just in energy. So shout out to Shonda, who says she's in Baton Rouge, looking to come to Senegal in January. That's in a couple weeks, Shonda. So I hope you're ready. I hope you got everything taken care of, passports. Make sure the family is ready and in good spirits, because when you touch down here in Senegal, it's nothing but Teranga. It's nothing but that hospitality, and definitely hit us up so that we can welcome you here on the ground and be here to support you while you're here. For sure. So yeah, man. So Kobe was the way we opened up 2020, guys, and this was what probably set the tone for the rest of the year. So we gotta definitely send out our love and respect and humble, condolences to the Bryant family. To all of the other families that were on board. We can't open up a 2020 recap show without the Mamba being involved. And we got our brother Foday joining us from Sierra Leone. Chief, what's going on, brother?
Hello, how you doing, bro? I'm good. What's up, Sister? Yeah.
Sister Ya is in a
Hey, mama.
So she's mobile right now.
Yeah,
she's like on the road.
Hey, brother.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm in traffic on my way to the house. So I just didn't want to miss out on, this. I knew this was going to be a bomb show today.
For real.
Yeah.
For Terrari Fitness says 2020 was a trip, but at least we got some great music. I'm curious, what was that music?
Hey, listen, I can go off right now with that, man. Hey, look, KRS-One just dropped a crazy project.
KRS-One?
Who else? Yeah, Nas dropped a crazy project this year. Busta Rhymes dropped a crazy project this year. Yeah, like in terms of hip hop, it's been for them three artists.
Something new, man. I think I've been over here too long. I be missing all those kind of updates, brother.
Yeah, Nas had a dope album this year. It came out I believe in the summertime. Yeah, then Busta Rhymes came out last month. He been tearing it up, and I've been watching some stuff from KRS-One. Man, KRS-One is RBG and everything, man. I'm like, wow.
Speaking of which, Busta Rhymes did just drop a really dope project, and in it, I believe he's speaking some Wolof in the video, and that kind of made its rounds over here. A lot of people were excited, like Busta Rhymes is speaking Wolof in his new video. So
he was.
Respect.
Wow, that's amazing.
right.
That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then you have
Fitness says even
Burna Boy. You got this brother Toby from Nigeria, but he actually lives in Texas. he came out with a whole new form of performance hip hop, performance music. It's real dope. Check him out, Toby. And I can't think, man, but it's been a good year with the music. But then on the other end, we've had a lot of tragedies in the black music world pertaining to the United States of America, man, with
incredible
killings.
Tragedies.
Pop Smoke, King Von, keep going, man. Just like crazy, because at the same time, while we're supposed to be unifying and bringing all that voice together, they still use the same vices. Same vices to keep us rumbling against each other, man.
And I think even more frequently, because when we look back in time and how things were going even in the 90s, Pac and Big, things like that, it was still more of a a scarce kind of thing. It wasn't so much. And now, I mean, we look at a year like 2020, we've lost at least a half a dozen of our musicians to violence and BS.
Yeah, it's been going down.
That's for sure, man. So much respect, condolences to everybody who lost somebody this year. If you lost somebody, and even with the COVID crisis going on, we know a lot of people may have lost people to that. Drop their names in the comments. Let us know. We're going to shout those people out on today's show. Show respects, pour libations. This is the end of the year. Let's recap it the right way.
It's also go ahead. It's also the winter solstice. The winter solstice has just entered. I had the opportunity to be on a pre-Kwanzaa event the other night with the parent body of the UNIACL, RC 2020. It was a dope event.
Right.
And we was talking about Marcus Garvey Jr. We just laid him to rest yesterday.
That's right. That's right. Marcus Garvey Jr. passed away about 10 days ago.
Going down.
That's right. Much respect to the Garvey family. Huge loss to the Pan-African world. Former President General of the UNIA just passed away a few days ago. We lost a legend. He actually bared the name of his father, Marcus Garvey, who many of us see as a true leader and guide in this Pan-African movement. So respect to the Garvey family.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's going on? What's going on up there in Senegal, man? How's Senegal? Man, I've been busy down here. I've been good busy. I see you out there too, bro.
Man, I was about to say, man, Senegal's been busy. It's been kind of relentless, to be honest, man. It's like day in and day out, all night, sleep for an hour, 2 hours, right back up, on calls. Like I'm literally on conference calls at 2, 3, 4 in the morning these days.
Yeah, same here.
It's ridiculous.
The
time zone differences around the world and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the rush, man. I've been able to meet new people who was coming. We had a day on the beach on Sunday, met some other people. It was great, man. So this Sunday we're going to be having a Black Roots cookout. So we invited different groups. We're gonna bring a sheep out, buy a sheep, get some lamb chops, some barbecue lamb chops going. This one brother, he knows how to
barbecue lamb chops, man. Save me some.
No doubt, you already know. Hey, look, jollof rice with coconut oil, with coconut flavoring. So we about to eat, man. We about to get it in. And this morning
somebody says in the comments, we lost Chadwick.
Yeah, we lost it.
It's another big one.
We lost the Black Panther. That was a huge shock. That was a huge.
Man,
I mean, nobody was expecting.
Nobody was expecting. And the thing about Chadwick was, his heart. It wasn't just the Black Panther. I feel like the people that we've been losing this year are the people who really have
who we need for another 20
that we want to see. It's like we're losing legends, people who have upheld that standard of public figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chadwick, one of the videos that even till now gets me a little teary-eyed is the awards. I think it was the MTV Awards, where he accepted his trophy and then gave it to the young Black brother who I guess who saved those people in Waffle House, the Waffle House
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
He was the one that wrestled the gun out of the guy's hand, and Chadwick got up there and he told this story about true heroes. Like, I'm a hero on film, but that don't matter. There's real heroes out here living and breathing in these streets, you know, and gave that brother his trophy. Told him, my trophy's gonna live at your house.
Wow.
And that's a moment, man. That's a moment right there.
Yeah.
Bro. That tells you where that
That's
brother's
real,
heart
man.
was.
That's real. Like we say in America, man, real ninjas do real things. You know what I mean? And it's real, man. Like the heart of those who we're losing, man. We can't get them back. You know, we can't get these people back. But what we have to do is focus on developing our generation. You know, me and you might not be around here tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that's what it is. Like, I mean, definitely condolences to the families of the lost. You know what I mean? But our belief is that we're never really lost. You know, this is the short life. You know what I'm saying? It's the pit stop.
And I think one of the bigger things that we've lost this year, than just sheer, you know, all of the losses, obviously with death, is the losses that we've suffered in the world environmentally due to the fires this year. You know, that's been, you know, kind of on my mind. You know, there's a lot of things that happen up and down politically and socially and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, when it comes to the environment, when it comes to the world that we live in and how sustainable is that world for us as far as, you know, being stable. These are the kind of things we need to be paying attention to. I know a lot of people brush off things like climate change and stuff like that. But, man, when you look at this year, I think Australia burned through 5.7 million hectares of land, and in the U.S. burned through 3 million hectares of land. When those fires were burning out west in the West Coast in California, and you know, other West Coast states, I think it was up as much as Oregon and Washington State, etc. Man, thousands of people out of their homes, thousands of people, you know, smoked out, animals, ecosystems. You know what I'm saying? That was devastating.
Yeah, man. And you know what? It's that issue right there is not going to slow down. I remember growing up, the people was talking about climate change and, you know, this what do you call it? The water rising,
global warming.
Global warming and stuff like that. You know, people talking about the importance of trees and how it relates to the quality of air that we breathe, and, you know, just how we all live in this integrated environmental system that all of us should be responsible for. It's like if you live in a house with 10 people and you only got one bathroom, everybody got to be responsible for keep the bathroom clean. It ain't gonna be a one-person job.
And if you don't, everybody else is gonna get on you.
Absolutely. And you know, when we see these fires, man, we see how people getting displaced. And there's nothing we really can do. I mean, that's what really hurts me, is the fact that, you know, in case of emergency, we don't ever have a rescue plan for ourselves. You know, we kind of watch what's happening on the media and send our prayers and our donations, and that's it. We feel good after that, but we don't have a sustainable system to deal with our own emergencies. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that we've been building this year. Trying to build a more secure emergency system. You know, in fact, one of the brothers that we met on the Lumley Beach. Lumley Beach is like the main beach here. That's where you go. You find all the big hotels and stuff like that. It's the city beach. And we went there, man. I met a brother who had been in America for a few years. Ex-soldier here. He's a chef. I think right now he's out in D.C. But the day before we went there, Saturday, they cleaned the whole beach, man. They went to the government. They you know, they got their own Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora.
What's his name again?
The brother name is Ali. I can't remember his last name right now, but the name of his organization is called Black Roots Investment.
Oh, right. I've seen that. Yeah,
he's a Salon brother.
Great effort. Effort.
So when
we
went there,
things that we have to start instituting on a major scale also, because we do those here as well, like the local cleanups. I know you guys do those, the Be Clean campaign in Sierra Leone. Now it's time to start taking these kind of programs and campaigns to the highest levels. Like we need to be pitching these to, governments. We need to be pitching these things to major corporate investors and start taking these things into the genre of, just literally commercial business. It can be like that. If you look at waste management in the U.S., the amount of waste that they collect in the U.S. and then the amount that they transform via recycling, it's putting a lot back into, use. So, we have to have these kind of mentalities as well. It's great to start on these small local levels, but I would like to see these types of campaigns being nationwide and even continent-wide eventually.
Yeah, well, for us, when we first started the Be Clean campaign, we seen it as a process. We said, well, the campaign is going to raise the awareness and get us going, get us started. But ultimately, we want to go from a Be Clean campaign to a Be Clean coalition, which we formed the last time we cleaned with various organizations. From the Be Clean coalition, our job is to now emerge it into a Be Clean waste management and recycle company. Right. So that way, we're building up from the bottom and learning the issues, and then building a system that's going to be tailor-made for here. Fact. You know what I mean? It's very important, because the main thing here is like vehicles, facilities, as well as the roads. So we got challenges here that you might not have in another place. Right. But definitely, I see them talking about climate change. To go back a little bit on climate, it's such an issue.
That's what it is. Look at sorry to cut you off, but even look at what's happening with the Sahara Desert right now. The Sahara Desert is expanding. It's growing. It's getting bigger. It's taking over parts of sub-Sahara West Africa that used to be mostly green. So the leaders of, I think, 10 African nations that border the Sahara across have all agreed to plant, I think, 10 million trees across the continent. Right, and Senegal is actually leading with that right now, having planted the most trees. But those are the kind of drastic measures we have to take to slow this kind of stuff down. Like, we got to go at this with like an all-in kind of mentality, because if it takes over anywhere, it could be detrimental to people on even in other places. Look at the storms that just hit the U.S. this year. It's been a record hurricane season in the United States, and we long talk about how those hurricanes come from here off the coast of West Africa. We followed them and traced them this year. So for those of you who heard that and you think that it's a myth, it is not a myth. Just about every hurricane that hit the U.S. this year during this record hurricane season literally left the coast of West Africa as a regular thunderstorm. So we here go through our rainy season at the same time the U.S. goes through hurricane season. Now they're saying that here our rainy season is becoming a little more either extreme or irregular. So which means it's not always the same. We could go 2 or 3 years with a drier season and then come back and it's a massive season. So but in the U.S. it seems like it's escalating. So as soon as those rainstorms leave here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we can pull up a geo map and watch them cross the Atlantic Ocean. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're landing into the Caribbean or the Gulf as category something. And so that's still, it's from that climate change. It's all interconnected. It's coming from one place to another. So what causes it here is probably, I would say, the trees, even having to build back those trees, that causes a lot of change in weather patterns, specifically precipitation and rain.
Absolutely, I would agree. I know here we're doing a lot of tree planting. The government is supporting people to do tree planting heavily. You know what I'm saying? And it's important because the people already know how to do it, but just to have some encouragement and have a situation where it's being organized properly is really what we're after. Even the youth commission here is putting the youth on it, putting the youth on the issue of saving the trees. But one of the biggest things here is timber, man. One of the biggest businesses here that especially the Chinese is coming for is timber, man. We got rainforests here, man. We got big hard wood, and they be here chopping these joints down. most of the time when you're on the highway, you see trucks, man, with massive loads just headed to the coast. And the people look at the immediate financial value of the exchange. They don't see the long-term depletion of resources that we can't put back right away. Right. And so one of the things that we're
That's
doing
what
is
they're starting to notice now, and they're trying to reverse it. But in some places, in some areas, it may be too late.
Yeah, it may be too late. It may be too late. It may be too late, bro. And the thing is that people are going to start running to these places where it's still preserved and running away from those places. You know, actually, if you know about the Sahara Desert, man, the Sahara Desert used to be called the Fertile Crescent. Yeah, it was very fertile, just like ancient Kemet. Ancient Kemet was all fertile until it was just the delta left. You know, when you talk about cities like Timbuktu or even Senegal wasn't just desert or dry like that. 500 years ago, something has happened in the world. The world has shifted, and we've abused the environment. Well, let me say that the urge and the chase for industrialization and for conquest completely transformed the way that humans live our lives and brought a lot of the indigenous cultures and people off balance. Once we're off balance, man, it's like, wow, you know?
Right.
I see somebody
it's
say
really difficult to restore that balance. I was even watching.
Somebody said we need to start in our neighborhoods in the U.S. be cleaning our own neighborhoods.
Right.
You're absolutely correct. Real quick, bro, before you go. Real quick.
I mean, just think about the health implications of that. You know, this is something that we don't think about. We talk about environmental health and environmental, the quality of life in the environments that we live in. These things directly affect that. It directly affects, the health of our children. It directly affects the areas in which they play. It directly affects what you come in with on your clothes. This is something that my mother always took seriously, was don't wear your outside clothes in the house. Right?
Take them off.
And that's because a lot of the environments that we live in are just, they're nasty, they're gross, they're not well kept. And if we took these kind of things more seriously, we'd see, less sickness in our communities. We see a little better quality of health and life, and then we take that back into our homes, right? We should, even for instance, like the brother is doing right now in California, he's planting vegetable gardens in the sidewalk grass, and in the medians in the middle of the streets, right? These are the kind of things that you can, you take from the negative, you replace it with something positive, and you use that positive thing to build yourself and your community. And we should see those everywhere we are. This is not just things we can use on the continent. These are things we should use in any communities we live and thrive.
Absolutely. Hey, RJ, man, to this person here, Raymond Reynolds, the last time we did our Be Clean campaign, we actually sparked our coalition and had 4 cities in the United States clean along with Freetown, Sierra Leone. So we did our first international collaborated Be Clean campaign just about a month and a half ago. And that's how we're going to be moving from now on. So, Lamont, if you're interested, you can reach us, man. Just go to www.basani.org. That's BSANI.org. Over there, we're based in Shreveport, York, Pennsylvania. My sister actually took it back from Africa to Pennsylvania about 2 years ago. And we've been trying to expand. We've been trying to expand a lot, trying to get people in the concept that if we don't keep ourselves clean, then we will be dirty. And if we're dirty, we're going to be sick. And just the basic common sense, bro. It's like people don't get it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Seriously, it's just common sense, man. We gotta keep our environments clean for sure. So back to the list of crazy things going on in 2020. And there's so many, y'all. And even people are even texting me them, which is crazy. Like, you guys should mention this.
Text them in, bring them in. Leave them in your comment. Yeah, leave them in the live comment section. Leave them in the live chat. Anything you want us to just touch on real fast.
Right.
We're going to do some commentary.
Drop it in the chat.
Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Hey, whoa.
So, and this, even following Kobe, I kind of tie these two things together and maybe unfairly, but the day I heard about Kobe, the day that, Kobe passed was the first day that I personally heard about COVID-19 or coronavirus. So we were in front of the TV on the same day. I think we were watching CNN. We had just heard the Kobe news, and then it switched over to another story, and it showed people falling out in the streets of China, going crazy about some bats in a fish market. I don't know. And from there, everything has spiraled completely out of control. So definitely, we got to talk about coronavirus, COVID-19. Probably one of the most historic events of the year, and will definitely not be soon forgotten. Yeah.
I think Kobe was the first big one. Him and his daughter was so tragic for the world to know about, and then Boseman was like, oh, he didn't even get to make it back to the continent to say what's up. And he was coming to Sierra Leone, he's a Limba,
right.
He's a South Carolinian too. Put some Gullah Geechee on that. Oh yeah. So that was our brother, man. That was our heart. And if one shine, we all shine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anytime somebody out there represent, and a lot of people didn't like Kobe's attitude, but I love the Mamba. I'm telling you, the brother was a problem in terms of showing that kind of intensity that we can take to any field of profession. Take that basketball spirit and take that into the corporate world and watch what happened. It was something that Kobe had. It was a spirit of competitiveness that sometimes African people don't want to have because we're so cooperative. Like, if everybody can't get it, then something's wrong. But in the West and in the world today, you got to have a competitive edge. I believe that Kobe really embodied that. And then the fact that he died with his daughter, man, it's like he was a father. He was with his seed, man. He was doing some positive stuff with his babies when that happened. So it was like tragic. Nothing he could do about it. Then with Chadwick Boseman, he was hiding his sickness. He was like, yo, I'm not going through no BS about me being sick, man. I'm gonna just keep doing my best, and that's so powerful, man. Because I've had to work through sickness, even here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, sometimes you don't feel good, but you get up on the phone anyway. Yeah, and then if you go from there, died last year. I'm last week, right? So
who was that?
And it's going to continue. I mean, I said Debo from the movie Friday. He just passed away last week.
Oh, Debo. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we losing legends, man.
Somebody else passed. I want to say it was earlier this year. It wasn't. Okay, no. Maybe not. We did.
But there's been a lot of deaths.
Go ahead.
I said there's been so many deaths, bro. But there's also been so many positive highlights. I think what we learned out of 2020 is that we still got it. When I say we still got it, we still got that ancestral resistance. When the going gets rough, some of us gonna get going. And I've seen some, bro. Listen, I've seen some developments happen, especially in people close in my lives as a consequence of this COVID. You know what I'm saying? This COVID is like, it made people change the way they look at stuff. Because now they're in a situation that they really can't control, and it really is left in the hands of the man. And you can make some adjustments, but ain't nothing like the Exodus.
That's what I was thinking about. Did John Witherspoon die this year?
I thought that was last year.
It seems like that might have been last year.
Yeah, I think that was 19.
Yeah, it was very recent, but maybe last year. But that was huge too, and it was kind of weird that he and Tiny Lister went back to back like that.
Back to back.
Two legends from the same seed, man.
Hey man, look. Awesome. We lost Floyd. We lost Brianna. We can keep going on people that we lost, man.
Breonna Taylor.
People that we lost. It's been
because that goes into one of our other things that we wanted to get into on this show, and that was about the overall, how can we say, the civil unrest around, the Black struggle in America and around the world. The Black, as people say, the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's so much bigger than that. But that in itself made this year historic, even likening to the 1965, 1966 marches and riots, etc. This is something that, for our generation, I feel like we needed to see. And not only did we need to see that as Black people, the rest of the world needed to see that. And for sure, our counterparts as, white people or white supremacists, or however you say, needed to see that as well. This was so necessary. And, we don't know what the future holds, but we kind of got to give Donald Trump his props for that. Thanks for bringing out the bubbling, boiling, beast of America, so that we can get that off our chest. We had to get that off our chest.
Oh yeah. Well, Malcolm said, "Give me the fox. I mean, give me the wolf before you give me the fox." You know what I'm saying? So I know what I'm getting myself into. One thing that white supremacy and just genocide produces is a consciousness, a political consciousness that would oppose it. And so there's been so many people waking up politically because of Donald Trump. People asking the political questions. I was watching an interview with Umar Johnson last night, Dr. Umar Johnson last night, and he was talking about that exact thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say this real quick before I even go on about Umar. Man, Umar Johnson is one of the sharpest political analysts that we have right now. He's really studied, and I can tell by the content that he pulls and how he articulates himself. That's not a question. That's not a judge of his character. That's a judge of his intelligence. The brother is working with some higher intelligence in terms of being able to see something, analyze it all the way down, and then put it into simple terms. But I think that he's so good at that sometimes it goes over people's head. They don't realize the depth of what
I think most of the time it goes over people's head.
And then the way he says it, then the way he says it, like, real fast. And for him, it's common.
That's why
the next person, he's like, wow, he blew my mind. I want that. Yeah. So, I was watching him yesterday. I forget what I was going to say about it, but I was watching him on an interview with a brother. Who was the brother, man? It was some Morris brother was interviewing him. And Umar was talking about the complications, man. Like, our people don't want leaders. We don't want leaders. If it's not going to be us that's going to get the credit, then they don't want it and they don't want to back it. They don't want to support it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Umar is definitely a man. I mean, Umar has put in work for a decade. And there's people who have reaped the benefits. There's people who've turned and said, I don't like Umar. But 5 years ago, they gained some knowledge from him that made them better parents. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's just like that, bro. There's a lot going on. I do know that there's been a lot of gains going on as well. People around the world are reawakening to the political agenda of the West. And we shouldn't have been asleep in the first place. They rocked us to sleep, bro, with a bunch of distractions and vain desires and playing around with us, man. They really preset our minds.
That's right.
To be reactive to any kind of stimuli they put out there. And it's always negative to us. It's always suicidal. But I think we should really start having more conversations about how we deal with losing our greats and how we deal with treating them while they're here, and knowing that every single one of us is great, and every single one of us has some inkling of greatness in us, and you're supposed to discover your greatness and then passionately bring it out to the world. And some of us are literally doing that, man, the best that we can. And a lot of people are jealous of Dr. Umar Johnson. They just see that he's able to bring out what it is that what he has in him. And I remember Malcolm X was saying, like, if you're comfortable, then he ain't doing something right. You should feel fire under your waist all the time. You should never sit down comfortable when he talking, when he doing things. So I feel like in this year, our people become more comfortable with being uncomfortable, more comfortable with resistance. And
that's
you
what
can't
the brother
credit
is
that to one
saying
person.
here on the screen. We've got, I'm sorry to cut you off. Brother Malachi says, I'm not into politics, but Trump helped the Black community a lot in terms of waking up and coming back to our own and wanting to separate and find a different alternative to the abuse of Black people. And this is huge. This is something that even to understand, it takes a higher conscience. Even for you to see somebody like Trump as a potential blessing to us, not in the way of a savior or, you know, any of that kind of mess, but just in the sense that his BS was so bad that it made us wake up out of our slumber. It made us actually become proactive about buying Black, supporting Black businesses. It made us get serious about homeschooling our children, about, you know, fighting back against, you know, these Karens and these Kevins out here, you know, and not taking no mess. So this is the kind of, you know, and I said this, I think, in a post just a few days ago, I believe on Instagram, that a revolution requires disruption, right? You cannot reach a revolution by comfort or by complacency or by being on the safe side. To revolutionize something, you got to disrupt what exists. You gotta disrupt what people are comfortable with right now, and then you make the drastic change that is the solution to that, right? So when we talk about disruption, just like you know, somebody said in the comments here that COVID-19 made the world see itself without Uncle Sam in charge. You see,
it's true.
This is the same thing. How many people lost their jobs this year, but they still living today? It might have been tough for them. They might have been, you know, back a few months in rent or bills or debt, but they still here today. They surviving because they had to pivot. They pivoted to something different. They opened up that online store they have been thinking about. You know, they jumped into that money market that they was planning on playing in. They started getting into that cryptocurrency they heard about, et cetera, et cetera. And now they have some kind of cushion that can carry them. But now they also have a new mentality. It's not just the financial. The mentality has changed. Now a lot of people have told themselves, I can actually survive without a job.
I'm telling you.
I can actually educate my own kids without sending them to school. You know, I can actually, you know, be in charge of my own future. And that is what we want. That's the revolution that we've been looking for. That's what so many people have been finding, you know, productive.
Yeah, look, that's Kuji Chagalia, my brother. That is African self-determination. That's when you realize you can't rely on nobody else but yourself. You understand? And you know, and you realize you're in a tight situation, and you have to do it for yourself, or it won't get done.
Really.
And if anything, when a crisis strikes, that's what happens. My brother used to say, there's a time where you got to separate the boys from the men. He used to say that to me, you know, and it's real. I mean, the mature people who are ready for a new world, they are beginning to rise to the surface. I don't think that. Look, I can't stand Trump. I'm not into American politics. I ain't been there almost 8 years. When I was there, I never single one day voted in an American election, not local, not state, not no level, just to make it clear. But when something good or something bad happens, you have to understand that there's always going to be a consequence of every action. You understand? And so the emergence of Donald Trump as like a caricature, you know, in response to Obama. So they play politics, y'all. They play politics like chess. They choose who's going to be that face and that voice for the next few years.
And they know in advance what kind of reaction they're going to get to it. And I think that's something that us Black people, we don't calculate. We don't calculate the amount of planning that the enemy puts into what we're gonna do. They know how we're gonna respond. As soon as that brother gets shot by a cop and that news story goes out, all of them behind the scenes know exactly what's gonna happen. It's an effect that they're looking for. So that's why sometimes when I say don't be so reactionary, it's not saying ignore what's going on, but it's saying don't jump into the pot that they set up for you.
Yeah, sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes the trap is like it's like if you can't get me to come out my house, but you out there under a bush waiting to kill me, you gotta do something that's gonna bring me out my house. You know what I'm saying? You gotta set a trap. So you might have like a woman scream, help, help, help. I come outside thinking I'm gonna help a woman, and you blast me in my face. You know what I'm saying? So it's like setting a trap. You understand? Like to us, to our generation, Obama was something that they told us could happen. I remember growing up in elementary school in America, and they was like, yo, a black man can be president. Like, man, get out of here. I remember Tupac talking about it. You know, even if he's black, the system's still gonna be bad. You know what I mean? Tupac was living over 20 years ago talking about Trump did. Like, yo, don't let these dudes become presidents. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to let you know that, you know, in struggle, you have periods of high tide and low tide. And right now the tide is rising. And so even ordinary people who used to ignore people like me and you are now bashfully coming closer. Hey, bro, you know, and beginning to assimilate into the culture of resistance that we've been breeding for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So none of this has happened by coincidence. There's people who have been literally waiting for these kind of opportunities to get your attention. Because usually white supremacy got you distracted with a job, with the media, with drugs, with a whole bunch of hanging out and clubbing and buying clothes for the next weekend. I bet y'all saving some money right now. I bet it feel good to sit down with them kids right now and see how good they doing with their math right now. I bet that feel great. I bet that feel good. And I'm not giving that to Trump. I can't give that to Trump, man. Fuck Trump. I'm gonna say that clear. But at the same time, he was able to create the condition to awaken some of my people because they was completely gone after Obama. Obama convinced them it was a colorblind society.
Right.
And here comes Trump said, no, MAGA.
Straight to sleep
MAGA.
like NyQuil.
He brought him right back. MAGA, he repped that M. Yeah.
We can't, that's what we can't let happen going into this 2021. You know, I know everybody's excited. They got, you know, Biden is in, Trump is out. Biden is talking about legalizing federally. You know, a lot of people got this whole, you know, a new day is here. We can survive this now. And I just want to, you know, let's just look at how things have gone in the past. Let's also, you know, be smart about our predictions for the future. We still understand that there is a collective attack on our people in the West.
Oh, yeah.
No matter who is in the leadership, no matter who is in the president, in the White House, there is still a collective. That president has nothing to do with the tens of millions of police officers on the streets. First of all, and under Obama, we were still, you know, being shot down in the streets. That didn't change, right? Even with a black president in the office, we were still having Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown. We were still having, you know, situations where, you know, there was nothing being done. There was no accountability. So we want to just still stay focused on solutions. Do not go back to putting your life in the hands of the very people who have been proven to overlook you and or oppress you. So you know, that's what we want to make sure, you know, we just stay focused, man. Let's keep our eyes on the prize. Let's continue to channel all of our resources towards our motherland. Let's make sure that, you know, even if we choose to stay in the West, that we're developing sustainable options and opportunities for us there. And bridging them for all of us around the world.
Oh yeah, hey, you know what? That's what it's going to come to because it's a necessity of the times. You know, like I said about the low tide and the high tide of struggle throughout history. When you look at the 60s, it was a high tide. You know, and you look at the 50s, it was high, but it was rising to what it became in the 60s. And then you've seen it reached its apex, and then the enemy came back with a counter oppression, you know, a counter offensive. And you know, of course we got the drugs and the prisons. Speaking of, it's not the personality of the presidents, it's the office. You know what I'm saying? That office is literally like the head. Just like the head is the office of the brain, that is the face. So if you're in a fight, you're not gonna be targeting someone's arm. You're not going to target their chest. You're going to target their face if you want to knock them out. You're going to hit the head. And when you're a head of state, you're a head of an imperialist state that's responsible for oppressing our people for centuries on centuries and continuing to do it. I don't care what your race is at that point. I don't care if it's a black head or a white head. It could be an Asian head. It could be any kind of head. It's the same head of state. And so for me, I'm gonna just keep hitting that head. Boom, boom, boom. And so Donald Trump is just a cracker, man. He's just a cracker. He's one face. And Biden, speaking of Biden,
he don't even have the ability to step out of that face long enough to trick you. That's really what it is. Most of them, they can step out of that phase long enough to make you believe they're on your side. But, Trump can't even, he exposed you them. Can even say he's too real to act like that.
Yeah, he exposed the system, man. He exposed the system, bro. Hey, look, my nephew.
The realest racist alive.
Yeah, realest man. #1 hater.
For real. Like, dude don't even act like he like you. You'd be like, the news be like, so Trump, what do you have to say about, the disproportionate killings of black men? Trump would stand up there and be like,
I don't care about that.
Our law enforcement do a great job. We ain't do nothing to them next. Like, Trump, at least act like you. At least act like you.
Act like you care, man. Yeah. You know what though? I hope that bastard have a terrible rest of his life. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I know one thing. When it's all said and done, we are happy to be leaving 2020. I think everybody can agree that this year we're through with it. We're ready to start over fresh. We're ready to get into a new, a whole new boat and see if we can, get this thing back afloat, man. Because this world really this year really grounded the world completely. I want to know about the lockdowns where everybody's at right now, because I'm hearing that there are lockdowns going back and forth. I know Southern California, I know the UK's locked back down, several other countries. If your country is in lockdown or if you have some COVID restrictions in place in your area, drop them in the comments. Let us know, what is COVID doing where you are? How is it slowing you down? How are you overcoming it? And what do you have? What are you looking forward to next year? Obviously, the vaccines are being rolled out. Moderna just got put on shelves or sent out and distributed around the world. There's a lot of skepticism as far as the vaccine is concerned. We want to hear that as well. You guys share your thoughts on that. Tell us about that. I just got some news here a second ago. I haven't had a chance to look into it too deeply, guys. So, let's all kind of dissect it together. But I just got some news that says, breaking news: Australia just canceled an order of 51 million doses of a particular COVID-19 vaccine in trials from a company named CSL because those that were taking it were testing positive for HIV afterwards. And this article is from Al Jazeera. It's also on Fortune.com, Reuters.com. Australia just canceled 51 million doses of the COVID vaccine and trials from a company named CSL because those who were taking it were testing positive for HIV afterwards. And again, this is Al Jazeera, Reuters, Fortune.com. A lot of major websites are reporting that right now. I haven't read the details, but this is what we talking about. When they ask us why are black people skeptical, why are we, hesitant, this is why, because it's back to the same tricks. And it looks like going into 2021, this may be our biggest challenge. This may be the biggest threat to us in a while. What do you guys think? Share with us in the comments. Talk to us. Let us know what's going on in your areas. Malachi Muhammad says there's no lockdowns in Texas. You know, them southern red states, man, they ain't playing, man. They don't want no lockdowns. I've noticed that, man. The red states, the Republicans, they like, we not locking down. We got money to get. But all the Democratic states obviously are participating. So, who's that? Sudiban 49 says restrictions for restaurants, no inside dining or outside dining. Takeout only. All bars closed. But you didn't tell us where you are, my brother or sister.
Yeah, where you at?
Yeah, let us know where you at. Some people are saying we need the lockdown. Ebony LaShawn says it's ridiculous. We need to lock down. This African Root says the U.S. government never prioritizes for anything but destruction. Girl, I agree with you. And that is something that I've been saying this whole year, and even before this year. One of the things that made me repatriate to Africa, and for those of you who don't know my story, you know, I was raised in Atlanta. You know, I'm from one of the major cities. I've lived in New York and Philly and Miami and a lot of other places in America. But I've always seen that our handling was the worst, no matter where you were. It could get a little better, a little worse, depending on where you are. But ours is always the worst wherever we are. And as you know, these kind of big things kept increasing. These shootings, the random shootings, the police shootings, but also the mass shootings, the weather things like Katrina, what we saw happen with Bush and Katrina. I just started noticing that not only is America's inner environment getting worse, it's bubbling up, it's getting to a boiling point, but I also understood that when it boiled over, we Black people will always be at the bottom of it, whatever it is. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not, I don't propose to have all of the answers, but what is for sure, what we know is that the temperature is rising. America is boiling over,
and the pressure.
And every time it boils over, we get the worst of it. We're getting it bad. So even with this whole, COVID, Black people being disproportionately affected, even things. Let's look all the way back to the 80s, right? HIV and AIDS when it came out, and they've been telling us since then that Black people were disproportionately affected. The drug crisis, no matter how much white people engage in the use of drugs in the U.S., which is shown to be more than Black people, we end up in jail for it the most. We end up penalized for it the most, and we end up blamed for it the most. Right? They make it look like it's us bringing it in and everything. So we always
self-imposed
at the bottom.
Yeah. Look, even right now, my nephew, he's been in prison since like 2012. They gave him 17 years, man, for a broken handgun and like 7 grams of cocaine, like something so small and a handgun. But because it was together, they gave him 17 years in prison. Right now, he's losing his sight in prison. His legs is going away. They're neglecting him treatment. The same thing is happening to like Philly rapper AR Ab right now. He got stabbed in prison and they let him die. I just seen a couple weeks ago where brother Russell Maroon Schultz, our political prisoner out there in PA, sick. Mumia Abu Jamal gets sick a lot in them prisons. Them prisons ain't just somewhere where you just sit in the cell and wait till you get out. There's a lot that happens in the prison. You know what I'm saying? And the daily struggle of surviving, the psychological aspects of being in the prison causes a lot of physical destruction to your body. Like you can think yourself sick until something happens. I feel for those that's locked up, man, because we got over 2 million people in prison right now. And it's going to increase. And Biden is the head. So you know where we about to go. You know what I'm saying? Biden and Kamala are the heads. So you know what's about to happen. They about to pump up this prison industry. They're gonna get it popping, And it's sad, man, because they're attacking us from so many different ways, but the solution seems to be the same. Right now we're about to celebrate Kwanzaa from December 26th to January 1st. Those of us who are Pan-Africans, those of us who commemorate those kind of commemorations, like we have African Martyrs Day coming up February 21st, which is the day that we lost Baba Malcolm X. We commemorate all the martyrs of the African world during that day, Thomas Sankara, etc. Then we have our Black August commemoration. Every August, we commemorate the UNIACL, and we also commemorate the struggle of our people, man, those who have given it all just for us to be able to have an understanding and be able to do some things. So with Kwanzaa coming up, and we knowing that the second principle, the first principle is umoja, unity. The second one is self-determination, kuji chagalia. It's very important to realize that we won't be able to do anything about what we're merely responding to and suffering under if we don't divide and develop a system of governance that works for our families and our communities, regardless of who's in the government. We need to learn how to govern ourselves. And only through self-governance will we be able to truly be self-determined. And so if I learned anything from 2020, what I learned is that we need to become more self-determined. We need to concentrate our resources. Everything we've been hearing, all the scholars and all the greats talk about, we need to do it now. It's time to push the button. It's time to implement. And I believe that our generation is in a unique and unprecedented situation with more resources than any other resources had before us. That's right, Miss Africa Roots. We need sovereignty, to keep it real short and sweet. And sovereignty can be defined in many different ways, but all people have opportunity and a right to be sovereign and choose how they want to live. And the more we do that, I think the more cushion we're going to have in between us and our oppressor. And what I'm seeing now is that more people are farming, more people are taking care of their health, more people are concerned with their children, because it's a serious situation. But don't forget that we have to emerge as a free and independent, sovereign African people, no matter where we are. Whether it's the local community level, be free and sovereign and independent. Build your own institutions. Don't wait till someone else come with the program. Start cleaning your community. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till, your nephew is shot dead in the streets. Intervene now. Intervene now. Don't waste no more time. Because sometimes you need the right circumstances to be happening, like for you to really get the message, for you really to receive the message. And, just shout out to the UNIACL. Another thing that we commemorated this year is the 100 years of this flag right here behind me, this red, black, and green flag for the whole entire African race, symbolic of our own sovereignty. We really need to get back to it. Even as we've seen people rise up in resistance of white supremacy and police brutality, you've also seen this flag rising up too. This flag rises with the resistance of our people. And so it's time. It's time. And whether we're talking about, health, if you got skills in health, education and health, we need to put these programs together. What's happening is that our struggle has been decentralized because our people have been scattered and displaced in so many different ways. We have to literally create a multi-organizational structured family of groups that will begin the process of self-sustainable institution building. Not for us, so we might start it, but we're going to pass it on. And so this whole idea of, Black first, Africa for Africans, this, that, is very, very important for us to really push that right now. I remember being in America, man, going up in barbershops, running around doing my political outreach, doing my activism. And during the year when Obama was actually running for his first term, man, you couldn't tell our people nothing. You couldn't tell them nothing. Like, yo, watch out. He's still an imperialist. Watch out. Watch out. We don't know him. Watch out. His daddy's from over there and his mama's from over here. We don't know this guy. Watch out. Let's take our time. Why did he throw Reverend right under the bus? Who would throw Reverend right under the bus? Who would do that? Something's wrong here. Why does his grandparents have history in intelligentsia? Why is he the child of CIA agents? What's going on here? And so it's very, very important that even back then, just because Obama was black, quote unquote, it stopped us from being critical of him. But we didn't spare being critical on Trump. And it wasn't him or Obama, it's the system. It's the system that we're attacking. And so absolutely, it's time now for us to form our nationhood. I don't care what your background is. Put that shit to the side. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we're connected to each other. If you're watching this show, make sure you get connected. Make sure we're connected. You might not be coming to Sierra Leone, but you might be going to Ghana. You might be in a place where I got a friend in America that can help you out, that can join up and volunteer and build some things with you. And that's how it goes. We have to be excellent networkers at this point. Excellent networkers. Africa is not a single country. Africa is actually a continent, and it's a continent that has been colonized and is now neo-colonized, and has been since quote unquote independence, which still has us in dependence. So we really still got to continue to struggle, y'all. At the same time, while we call the names of Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, Sekou Touré, and the rest, we have to be like them. We have to embody those priorities. We have to embody those political ideals and really bring them to fruition in our generation. Baba Sekou Touré, the first president of Guinea Conakry, out of all the French countries in West Africa, it was Guinea that actually became like the headquarters for the Pan-African struggle. When Kwame Nkrumah got cooled in Ghana, he went to Guinea. When Amilcar Cabral was fighting against the Portuguese in Guinea-Bissau, he fled to Guinea. Guinea was the center where you could go as long as you was on a revolutionary Pan-Africanist kick, and you was fighting imperialism, you was fighting colonialism. You understand? So it was very, very, very important. We have to be like them, man. We got to open up the doors and make sure that we all rocking together. And the reason why I mentioned Sekou Touré is because as soon as the former French colonies started to get their independence, so to speak, they also entered the French community. They also begin to have what can I say? This monetary system that we see now, this commonwealth of the French community. Well, Guinea said, no, we'd rather be poor and free, meaning we'd rather be free and poor. So then to be dependent on France again, and you lock us into another form of colonialism. And of course, the French, when they retreated, they took everything from them. They took everything that they had brought into the country. The buildings they destroyed, the trucks, the computers, they took it all. And the response of the revolutionary leader, President Sekou Touré at the time was, man, you can keep that shit, man. We want our freedom. And that's the mentality we got to have right now. Put our liberation first right now, and not for us. Definitely not for us, man, because some of us ain't going to see the day that we actually accomplish it. We have to accomplish it, when we focus on Africa, we focusing on not only a place, but a people. And even if you ain't here, you can belong to that people and to that place. So our ancestors were not off when they were saying Africa for Africans. They were absolutely on point. And it's really, really time. So I don't have much more to say other than that in terms of this, this conversation. But we have to learn how to rearrange our value system and endure the struggle. Endure the struggle. There will be no progress for us without struggle and enough struggle. We were talking about things that's happened this year, and there's been so many deaths and so much drama. In fact, man, I just heard a few days ago, man, that one of my friends, man, strong supporter of the movement over here, brother was a genius, man. He passed away. He fought with COVID, and he passed away. And I'm like, what? Him? This genius brother right here passed away? What's his wife gonna do now? His kids? And so it's real. But I tell y'all, over here in Africa, it ain't like that. It ain't like, the COVID is not like that. Like my sister just got here this morning from the United States. When she entered, they gave her 2 tests. They gave her the blood test and the swab test. Instantly, within 15 minutes, she knew what was going on with her. And the measures that this country here in Sierra Leone are taking is what's keeping the numbers down, because the first case came through the airport. The first case didn't come from the block. You know, indigenous COVID here. It was people traveling to this country by airplane, coming from Europe and coming from other countries and bringing it into the country. And so the airports are very, very secure right now. If you're coming to Sierra Leone, I'll repeat this while I got time. Sierra Leone will be granting citizenship to all of the family who came last year, 2019, and requested for their citizenship based on their African ancestry DNA test. Based on that. And that is a powerful thing, y'all, because anytime you can come back with an inkling of evidence that you're a descendant, and a country will open up to you and say, well, fine, you have all the same rights as us all. You can vote with us, you can freehold land, you can live here. You're free to walk around the earth with this passport, and you're one of us. That is so powerful in our redemption as Africans. And so Sierra Leone has taken a great big step to make sure that our people have a single process that's not going to favor you. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be a VIP kind of person. You know, the first person who got their citizenship like that was Isaiah Washington. And the door went closed after that. It wasn't open to the layman. The average person wasn't able to come and do nothing with that. But now, after a lot of struggle, particularly here on the ground, appealing to the government, working with the people who's been coming, just putting the pressure on. You know what I'm saying? Just putting the pressure on. We've been able, in part, as the Diaspora, who's been involved in this process, to apply enough pressure and exercise enough diplomacy and enough patience and enough consistency to have Sierra Leone open the door up. And now, no matter who you are, there's a single process, a 12-step process. And you can pursue your citizenship in Sierra Leone as long as you have a African ancestry DNA test. For now, and right now it's African ancestry. But I believe that over the years, we're going to have to push to make sure that not only is it a DNA thing, but it's a Pan-African thing. Africans should be able to return to any location in Africa that they want to, especially where they have Negro clauses, like here in like Liberia, where we have the capital cities being founded by African Americans who repatriated hundreds of years ago. We should also have that right. We should have that right to come and say, yo, my ancestors came, I'm here. And it shouldn't have nothing to do with blood. We Africans regardless, you know? But in a legal sense, before a government opens up and begins to give citizenship to people, they have to go through a process. And all I can say is Ashe. From 2016 on up, these last 4 years, there's been a team fighting. And y'all gonna be able to get the name soon. You know, we have people like Shavonna Fraser, who she was able to successfully get, I believe, 7 to 8 Mende descendants their citizenship last year in April. We have Brother Foday Kunda Kante and a whole group of African ancestry DNA testers who've been coming back and been, you know, trying to get it. We've been here holding it down, showing the people what it means to have repatriates here on the ground in Sierra Leone, what it means to have a few people. You know, you can imagine what it's going to be like when we get more over here. So I just love this country, and this being a model, hopefully we can begin to appeal to other countries, and say, hey man, open up, let's go. And so this year has been great because we just got that as well. So January 5th will be the official announcement of Sierra Leone's year of return. The theme is root tourism. The president, Julius Maada Bio himself, will be announcing it and giving the citizenship to those who applied last year, and they'll be coming back in April with another group, and this is going to be an every year thing. So if you haven't gotten your African ancestry DNA test yet, now would be a good time to get it. If you happen to come back to be of Sierra Leonean descent, then the door is open for you. They're ready to receive you and accept you right now and get you through that process. Again, if you ever need my assistance, you can reach out to me via email, info@ gullaleone.org. That's Gulla, Gullah, Leone, Leone.org. I'm here on the ground. I got some pretty good, positive relationships with the government here. Like I said, we've been pushing for years. So even right now, ever since they announced it last week, bro, we've helped a number of people already to start their process for the next round. And it's not going to slow down. People coming back and they want to know what's going on. And Sierra Leone is one of them places that, you can come and you can take your time. You don't have to rush here. You can sit down, you can rent a place for 1 year, get to know an environment, look for the right land, rent a place for the second year, build your home the second year, transition slowly. But the main important thing is to make sure that you have a community to come home to. Because in Africa, we survive not off currency, but off community. You know what I'm saying? It's about you having connections and being able to reach out to people and people to reach out to you. It's a mutual exchange of humanity. That's the currency of Africa. Yeah,
That's
so
want to see.
you let me rock out, bro. But definitely, man, it's time, man. It's time. And it's time more. When we say unity, it has to be practical. What you're doing out there with the Alkibu Land Development Group. We're about to be developing Redemption Business Group Limited here in Sierra Leone. We're not going to be doing exactly the level of magnitude that you're doing, but definitely some agriculture, some real estate, some travel services, some trades, import, export, and we just want to be able to put it all under one corporate formation, so that whatever is business, we can keep it with business, and whatever is nonprofit development, we can keep it with nonprofit development, and let the left hand and the right hand do what they do together. So it takes some time to reach that point, actually, but we're there now, and so it's going to be nice to see how we can relate the entities and get people accommodated and make some damn money. Look, I don't want to front about it. If you're in Africa, man, you ain't got no job. It's not like you can go and fill out a temp service and go work for a little bit and pay your rent real quick. We don't got them kind of struggles. Like, you got to have a constant flow of small money. Yeah, you got to create your own job. You got to take your skills and sit them down and say, okay, this is what I know how to do. What profession is this? How does my skills match professionally? Okay, so what I do, that's social entrepreneurship. Okay, well, that's what this is. So you get to literally put yourself together professionally again when you get to the continent. And it's a rebirth. It's a rebirth of self. It's a rebirth of...
Real quick, I just want to mention that's something that people coming back have to really be ready for. And I always try and consult people on that. A lot of people come to me and they say, hey, how can I get a job there? And the first thing that I tell them is, let's turn that into how can I create some jobs? Because at the current rate of growth on the continent, the population is already exploding. We already have a lack of development in some areas, to which we don't want to come back and provide additional stress on a system that's already struggling to provide jobs for the people here. So if we come back, if anything, we should be coming to fill that gap. It's like when you go to grandma's house, you go to your cousin's house, your family's house, right? And you don't want to get there and be like, what's in the refrigerator, right? What you got to eat?
Yeah.
Instead, the respectful way is you come with a bag, you come with a drink, you come with some snacks, and you say, hey, this is what I have to contribute to the house, because we family, right? And so there are times in which you may have to go in family's refrigerator, right? But we want to be the kind of family that's coming, with our resources. So that tends to work better in the economic space here, because when we create jobs here, not only is that creating sustainability for us, but it's picking up some of the slack here on the ground for people who need it, as well. So let's always have that in mind. Let's not look for jobs, let's create them.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but that's a very important role that we have to play as Exodus Alliance, because we actually get to show people, like, okay, that's what Foday is doing in Sierra Leone. Okay, that's what RJ is doing in Senegal. We're giving you exactly how we respond to the opportunities, but the collectivism, people coming together to put small money together and watch it grow over time. That takes patience. You know, it's not a hustle. We're not gambling. We're not rolling dice. It's not CeeLo. It's not a quick flip. You know, Africa is not a quick flip. There's a lot of money to be made.
That's important to understand.
But
there's
more investment.
Rich quick
there's more
scheme.
Investment.
You better have some patience.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah. You better know some people too.
So this year, 2020,
so
has taught us.
I love this show, man. We
looks like we're losing you. I was gonna say this year, 2020, has taught us everything that we should know about ourselves and about each other and about the world and about where we stand and about our power and our potential. And I think that one of the things that should be learned the most about this year is how important we are to each other, how important or how much we mean to each other. From standing side by side, marching against injustice, to, you know, seeing so many people pass away that we value, to, you know, going into this economic crisis with the whole, you know, what they're calling the COVID recession. I don't know if you guys know, that's another historic thing that happened this year. I think it was March 9th. The stock market tanked to its lowest point since the Great Depression. And, you know, a lot of things went under, and they call it this COVID recession, but let's not.
That's why Dynasty talking about them turkey lines.
This thing is going to be here for a while. The economic ramifications of this thing are going to be here for. We're going to need each other. We're going to need to be employing each other. That's something that we haven't yet really gotten good at as a people. You know, we all now, everybody's embraced this whole, I want to be independent, and this is great. But in the grand scope of economics, you know, we still need each other and to be able to create jobs for each other who may not be able to start their own business. There are young people out there who are coming out of, you know, college with debt. There are single parents out there who are struggling in between jobs or in between hustles. There are people who are, you know, moving and in transition, and they can't, you know, take particular positions that hold them in place. So we have to be our new job creators for each other. And that's, you know, to my brothers and sisters in the States and America, you got a business now, you're getting it off the ground. Find out how to bring in your brother, your cousin, your neighbor, you know, those guys that you see just hanging out outside that don't have an opportunity to pursue. Give them a job, give them a way, give them a start. Open up your doors and open up your resources and say, hey, come on in. This is how we can get some legal, decent, sustainable money together. This is what's in it for you. This is how we can build it. You know, I'm a big fan of programs that don't necessarily lock you into employment forever, but may train you for some type of ownership or business position. So, for instance, you say, hey, for the next 24 months, if you work with me, I'll train you on certain things. And after that, I'll help you start your own business. And then we'll partner and still do business together, but as partners, but with you as the boss of your own, right? So these are creative ways that we can be training, developing, employing, creating opportunities for our young people and our folks in need. This is necessary. COVID has shown us that there's still 20 million plus people unemployed in the U.S. And, you know, we got a lot of our sisters turning to things like, you know, OnlyFans.
20 million?
OnlyFans thing is exploding. Everybody wants to jump on that. You know, you got a lot of people who are resulting to, you know, really just nonsense to survive right now. And it's not, you know, their fault. We're not blaming them. But we are, you know, encouraging those who are in a better position to go ahead and create those opportunities so we can save some of these folks.
That's true. Right. It's absolutely, man. So, I think what we're starting to experience social anarchy. I think that socially we're beginning to just be so rebellious against any form of system that we're forgetting that we have to replace this oppressive system with a new one improved system that's non-oppressive. You know, It's the pressure, man. The pressure got us stressed. Stressed.
That's right. We all have to do our part.
You know,
we got our sister Ya
somebody
back with
saying
us.
that. Okay.
Sister Ya, we missed you. How was that?
Y'all caught me
Queen
chewing.
Mother.
Man, it was fine. I got through the traffic and I was hungry. I told you I left my house. I left my house at 12 o'clock. I was hungry. I saw a brother out there grilling these goat kebabs. So before I got in the house, I had to stop and grab some. But I'm back. I'm here. What did I miss? What did I miss?
Man, brother Foday over here dropping jewels, getting the people that good knowledge.
As usual, as always.
As always.
As always. He's always dropping them. Yep.
Right. So we're talking about, 20.
Just chopping it up a little,
not just
little
all
bit,
the
chop it up a
things
little
that
bit.
happened this year, but also, some of the lessons learned, some of the ways we could take this into the future, turn some of these negatives into positives, and just kind of really just come out of this thing on top. They say the strong survives. So, if you made it this far, let's say you're favored, let's use that to our motivation, right? I'm still here, so I must still have a purpose, and let's engage our purpose. One of the things that did happen this year, which was big, and we're just kind of going through these things. Yeah, you can jump in with your list whenever you're ready. But I just wanted to point out, I know earlier this year I made a video talking about, what a lot of people understand as the Genesis prophecies, and, how at this 400-year mark of, the return, which is another historic thing that happened this year, is the 100 years since the first ships left here and landed in Jamestown, in the U.S.
RJ, your sound is out. RJ, your sound. I don't hear anything. I can't hear you, RJ. Your sound.
RJ, your sound.
Something's going on with your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. You couldn't hear him either.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I wasn't. It's like, yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. What's going on? How are you? You need to chime in on the conversation.
Man, everything is fine. I had to go out to immigration today to pick up our residency permits, and these people that lost my son's passport. I mean, I know it's there somewhere, but they said they're gonna.
There's always something, man.
They gave me mine. Always something. They gave me mine. They gave me my daughter's, and I'm like, where's the third one? And I had to wait there. That's why I'm late, because I had to wait there like an extra hour and a half for them to come back and tell me they're gonna call me tomorrow. They gotta look for it.
Can you hear me now?
RJ,
okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Had a call coming in. Looks like it disturbed my my sound.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was just explaining about how we've been talking about this 400-year thing happening, the Great Awakening coming out of that, and some of the things this year that have been kind of how we can say just historic or have a magnitude that contribute to that. And so one of those things that I wanted to point out that happened this year also, and I lost my train of thought. Y'all gotta excuse me, man. We got cut off and I lost what I was talking about. Boom. Okay. Well, one of the things I wanted to point out that happened this year that was big was the fact that Meghan Markle and the Prince left the Buckingham Palace. We also are hearing now reports that the Queen may be about to either step down, or after she passes, there will be no more monarchy in England. So I just wanted to point that out as we talk about this whole revolution happening, what a lot of us are calling a reset, as we discussed on a show a few weeks ago. Look at some of the signs, right? Here we have the Queen of England, one of the biggest symbols of colonialism in the world, right? Somebody whose wealth is built completely on the backs of slavery and colonialism, colonializing Africa, the stolen gold and treasures, and, all of these things. And now we're even looking at signs of that dynasty now collapsing. We've also seen this year a lot of trouble in the Vatican in Italy. So I don't know if you guys have been watching the news. A lot was going on in the Vatican with the Pope. There's a lot happening there, especially in terms of like this whole sex trafficking and all of these scandals coming out there in Italy. And then another really historic thing that happened globally that I think has even a lot to do with the same energy is the explosion in Beirut, which was of great magnitude. I don't know if you guys remember a few months back, ammonium nitrate went off in the port of Beirut. That place right now, I think they said 300,000 people now are homeless, right? You got an entire country whacked. An entire country whacked in a split second, right? And now those people, now we're hearing that those people, the Lebanese people, are now about to come back here to Africa as a refuge after that.
Absolutely. Look at that cycle, bro. Look at that cycle. We're talking about 2020, right? Good and bad. Despite the murders that happen in our community and our resistance, I can say that there's more people interested in coming back home to Africa than last year. I can say that because I've been around.
It's definitely a movement.
Go up and down. Right now, the movement is on the rise. Believe that, especially when it's about bringing the diaspora and Africa back together. Anywhere you look, you're gonna find that thing happen. You go to London, Africans from the continent, Africans from the diasporas are working together. You go to Canada, same thing. We're trying to figure this thing out because we realize that it's real. Events like Africa Day 2020, legendary event. We're gonna do it every year from here on out because now we know we can do it. We were talking about everybody spending money and going to synagogue. That would have been great.
So among those legendary things that have happened this year, we definitely have to list Africa Day 2020 on that list.
That was
everybody who was involved in that, to everybody who helped out.
Everybody.
You got an event that was set to be a major event here on the soil, the first of its kind. You've got thousands of people already scheduled to come in town. You've got, tons of entertainers and diplomats and people who want to participate and who are coming. And then you got COVID hit. I cannot tell you how many emails and text messages and inboxes that I got of people saying this has to go on. And, for a minute, we kind of, I'm going to be honest, we kind of hung it up for a second, right? We waited for a few weeks as things, kind of started building up, and we're like, all right, let's see how this turns out. And then as soon as it got really bad and the lockdown started, we were like, maybe it's time to just pull the plug. Yeah. But we got inundated.
I called RJ up and I said, let's do a telethon.
Man,
let's just run that thing on.
That was it.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
It's very brilliant.
It was like a healing moment. That's really how I felt about it. It was Africa Day 2020 live stream was a healing moment.
It was like
come together like that. and really.
It was like Hulk Hogan back in the day, bro. You remember how Hulk Hogan would be getting beat up and he'd be about to go out and then he started shaking?
Right. Right.
That's what happened. That's what happened because Pan-Africanism is under attack because it's the only solution to our problems.
That's right.
Yeah.
And those of us who are representing that Pan-Africanism, we get targeted for attack.
When the world went under lockdown. We felt like they just don't want Africa to succeed.
Yes, you know why? Because last year was a year of return.
Right.
Last year was a year of return. Then it came with the COVID. And we're like, oh, you see the conspiracy? See the conspiracy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I still think it was. I'm not completely.
Go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Chief, I was just gonna tell Chief, I'm not convinced yet that it's not a conspiracy because that 2019 was historic in terms of people converging all in one place from around the world.
That's for real.
And on Africa and Ghana. And yes, and it really began. I mean, so many celebrities, entertainers, everybody was talking about freaking Africa. People getting their DNA test done, getting their citizenship. And then, so I just find it odd, very odd. Y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe that they have to stop us.
And for those who don't know
I believe
what we're talking about, for those
they coming for us all.
African Day 2020 was May 25th. It is African Liberation Day. It's the day that the African Union was signed in 1963. It's a day that is, sometimes honored or celebrated in different parts of the world in small celebrations. But this year, we had called together the entire diaspora, the entire continent, key figures from all around the world to come to Senegal, Dakar, Senegal. We had a contract with the monument, the African Renaissance Monument, which is the statue that you guys see, the man, woman, and child standing up. We were going to have that event at the foot of that monument. Big concert, a full week of development events, conferences. We had, I think, 6 of the governors, first ladies from Nigeria were coming to take part in the women's conference. We had tons of influencers from around the world booked to attend, and then COVID hit and it was halted. But as Sister Ya mentioned a minute ago, she made the suggestion, let's do a telethon. Let's just get on live and stay on live. So we committed to it. And on May 25th this year, we hosted a live 8-hour live stream, completely live for 8 hours. And we're talking about sitting in front of a camera for 8 hours.
It was 16 hours. It was 16 hours because you did 8 hours and then I did 8 hours. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. 30 plus speakers on the first show. How many were on the second day? About the same number?
About the same.
Yeah.
We had performers. We had a sister open up from Trinidad, a performer. We had spoken word artists.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Tons of YouTube influencers. We had Wold Maya was there.
Let me get this right.
ES from Eat, Love, Migrate was on there with us. Shout out to her. We love you, ES. Eat, Love, Migrate. Keep doing what you're doing. That's all I'm gonna say. Just keep doing what you're doing. We love you. Tons of other folks we had there. Also, who else? Dr.
African Superstar. Man, everybody.
Right. Q Butter from the Ziax Institute. 6 guys.
Dr.
And tons of folks. It was beautiful. It was, like I said, it was a healing moment because we all got to finally come together at one time and make our voices heard in a space that we've never heard that kind of a collective voice. Although it was set to be done on a stage, doing it on that live stream definitely served the purpose. So thanks for everybody who tuned in to Africa Day 2020. You can watch the replay on my YouTube channel. You can also watch it on Facebook, Africa Day 2020 page. It's pinned to the top of the page.
So would
Make
it be
sure
a
you tune
2021?
in, like it, share it, comment, tell us what you think.
Would it be a 2021 Africa Day?
So, so that is the big question. We will be announcing something here really soon. Not sure how big that's going to be. I think we should set our sights on seeing the next big Africa Day potentially in the following year in 2022. So next year, depending on how all this goes with vaccines and COVID, we don't want to fall into the same thing that we fell into. We don't want to get close and then things kick up, or this vaccine thing takes some type of weird turn. So we're going to allow ourselves this year. We are building our cable line this year. For those of you who are looking to move back to the soil, we have a 600-hectare land space here in Senegal that we at Made in Africa Project, our cable line development group, and our partners are building for the return to Diaspora. So that's what we're focusing on this year. Is just mainly building our city. We just acquired 2 new land spaces here in Senegal. We're going to be announcing those as well and how they will work interconnected with our cable line city. But round the clock, that's what we're doing here. Like when we're not talking to you guys here, we're literally like in development talks all day. We're sitting down with developers, sitting down with people who are bringing in agribusiness projects. People who are opening up hotels, guest houses, restaurants, beauty salons, beauty schools. We've got folks going into all sorts of business right now. It's a wonderful time to be alive. Like what we see happening right now every single day is what we dreamed about 4, 5, 6, 10 years ago. It's what we dreamed about. Like this many people with this amount of resources all coming together, all converging, all bringing those things down the pipeline, and we're seeing them formulate. So 2021 is going for us. Is going to be a year just building on our soil. Y'all going to see a lot of footage of that. We have a documentary that's about to release here in about 2 weeks of the full backstory of the Al Cable Line City project, how it came about, who we're working with, how we put it all together step by step. It's all recorded. It's all documented. We're going to be releasing that here in the new year. So get excited.
I wanted to add that definitely something is happening. So many people are coming. A lot of people are literally just saying, you know what, I don't want to get caught in another lockdown and can't leave, so they're leaving. People are coming every day from all over. People are also running away from vaccines. I've got people I know that arrived in Ghana from the UK. They're coming from Canada. They're coming from everywhere because they don't want the vaccine. And people are suspecting that it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to fly without, this vaccine certificate, or that they're going to get to a point where they're going to be forcing people to take it. And so a lot of people don't want to, we've been seeing so many stories. I know y'all probably already talked about the vaccine, but I just find it odd. I just find it very odd that y'all trying to convince us to take the vaccine, but we watching videos and they faking like they're getting the vaccine. Like, why y'all faking? Like, if it's good, why y'all faking? You know what I'm saying?
More than
why are you pretending to take
it? Just like this news story that just came out today about in Australia, they're turning away 50 million doses because the vaccines have literally,
I'm telling you, and then
giving people.
They're talking about
this is big news, guys, and I just want to make it clear. This is not from any weird independent sources or this is major news right now. So just for those of you guys who didn't hear, breaking news: Australia just canceled an order of 51 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine in trials from a company named CSL, because those that were taking it were testing positive for HIV afterwards.
Right.
And this is being reported by Al Jazeera. This is being reported by Fortune.com. This is being reported by Reuters. Stay woke. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay woke.
Now, people are, they're moving. So RJ got land. That's what another thing I want to tell y'all. A record number of people this year have been buying land in Africa.
Right. Record numbers. Record
Yes.
numbers. Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Y'all
that's probably the biggest thing that we as Black people will probably take away from this year, other than the mentality shift, other than, you know, that kind of thing. Economically, the best thing that Black people will be taking away from 2020 is this is the year that we got invested in land. This is the year that we buckled down and bought plots in Ghana and Gambia and Senegal and Tanzania and Sierra Leone, all across the continent. This is that year. I've seen members in our club, you know, literally put their money into big land plots, bought a hectare here, bought a hectare there. I bought a plot over here for my personal home, a plot over there for my vacation. This is that year. If you have not purchased you some land yet, you sleep. You can literally get land here, you know, anywhere upwards of, you know, $1,000, couple $1,000, $3,000, $4,000. Really nice land, nice area for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Upscale land and in-town land for, you know, $40,000, $50,000. Put your money where your mouth is. You know, don't be the one when it's all said and done that's standing around going, "Oh, I wish I did. Oh, now the price is too high. I wish I got in there."
Yeah.
You know,
because the price is steadily moving. The price
I wish I had, you know.
Yeah. The price is steady going.
You know what though?
And let me tell you.
I think that
you definitely okay, go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, sis.
No, I was just going to say that that's an investment. That's an investment. You buy it, you first of all, one, you never know when you might need to go somewhere. It's always nice to have options somewhere you got to go. To have land somewhere else that's one thing. And then two, you're not going to lose your money with the land. You're not going to lose your money. When you buy that land, Africa land, the value of land in Africa is going up every day.
Right, it's going
every
up.
day. I just did a show with a Kufa and another brother here that's helping people get land. Let me tell y'all something. I got a show after the first of the year, 2021, that 30 people have sent me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in their applications to help them get land in a Cebu Pan-African village. I want to calculate the amount of money that people have sent me. Right. And I just got a call from the chief of operations over there saying that all my people finna get their paperwork, that I should come to a Cebu and they're going to hand deliver all these people documents to me, and then I'm going to ship everything to the States. I have personally helped 30 families get land in Africa. Okay?
Y'all give Sister Yah a round of applause. My sister is really leading the Exodus. This is what we need, man. This is really what we need to see you guys doing, is connecting with people like my sister and really buckling down and getting this stuff accomplished, because what we see right now is clustered communities. And that's a beautiful thing too, is just to have these, like you said, the estates. What you said the name of the estates is you guys have here in Ghana?
The name of
the estates, the name of the community where you guys had your land.
Oh, where that particular land is a Cebu Pan-African village. This is land that one of the kings has set aside in Central Region, 5,000 acres of land specifically for diasporans who want to return. 5,000 acres of land.
Man, man, you see that? And I even wanted to, in reference to something you said the prices is going up. And here, not the prices are not so much going up. It's just the availability is going away. You know, here we just see that land, like as soon as 3,000 plots are cut, they go. It's you know, it goes.
The real estate developers.
Yeah, because people are coming. So now what happens is if you still want to get the land that is decent price or whatever, you got to move farther out. So Senegal is investing in like urban sprawl, right? So, you know, Dakar is very congested and highly populated. So they built a new city just outside of Dakar. And then now all of these other smaller communities are developing outside of that. But you can't even get land close to Dakar right now anymore especially for anything less than, you know, $100 grand, you know. So
it's like that in the capital of Accra. Forget about it. Unless you got Jay-Z, Beyonce money, forget about it. You understand? So you got to go out.
Uncle in government.
But you can still get land in a lot of places for decent prices. Right now, I'm working with another brother. Me and my husband's company. We're official agents for this real estate development company. Helping. He got 540 acres of land. People are coming in buying, and this land got access to pipe water from the government, and the electricity is there. It's there, and this is where a lot of the wealthy in Ghana, this is a considered a very sought after area of land. So, I mean, you have the people on the ground that help you all. You know what I'm saying? So all y'all got to do is reach out.
Make sure you're working with somebody on the ground. If you're purchasing land on the continent from a distance, it is possible. Don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible to purchase land that you haven't visited or seen. That's not true. What's impossible or what's difficult or what's risky is doing that with people who aren't credible, people who aren't licensed, or people who don't have the particular credentials to do so. So don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible to purchase land from a distance. We've sold people a ton of land from a distance. We've given people deeds, you know, for years, and they have land. They've started building on their land. We've seen it happen. We know it can happen. We know it happens every day. You know, if you haven't been here or worked here on the ground, you know, it's difficult to understand what that landscape is like. It's difficult to know what hoops and hurdles that you may have to jump through. And so having somebody who's trustworthy, who's credible, who has some type of background that can stand on what they're saying is your best bet. Avoid going through, you know, just individuals. So I will say that. So if you just have somebody say, oh yeah, I know somebody who can get you some land, right? And they're not in the business of actual development or real estate or this type of thing, you know, not saying don't do business with them or don't believe them, but perhaps vet them through somebody who is accredited. We have people do that with us all the time. They say, hey, I met this guy. He says he's got this land over in so-and-so in Senegal, but I need somebody to check it out for me. We have people here on the ground, right? Vehicles and everything. We can go and check on it. We can pull up on them, as they say. We can make them pull the paperwork out in front of us. We can talk to the neighbors and the local mayor. We can, you know, pull their paperwork down at the mayor's office and make sure it's in order. We can read the contract and translate it for you and make sure that you understand it. So it is possible. We do it all the time. Just make sure you're doing it with people that you can trust. Don't let anybody scare you out of doing business with your brothers and sisters on the continent. That's all I have to say. Don't let nobody tell you, don't never do that. Don't never do, you know, that. Just let's give our brothers and sisters a little more credit. But let's still be smart. Let's still do our due diligence. Let's still, bring in some resources that can ensure that our affairs are in order.
Absolutely. Right. It's just about making sure that you got somebody on the ground that's trustworthy and honest, and that's going to do their due diligence and all that stuff. That's all. But we have plenty of people.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Just ask questions. You know, who was the last title's name in? You know, what was the land used for before? And you know, how does the community feel about me building this in that area? Ask those hard questions. It might turn into a no, right? You might end up at the end of those questions that no, I can't do it. but don't be afraid to get that no, because that no is the one that'll save you from going down a long, dusty road for no reason. All right, so you don't want to get through the whole process, buy your land, send your container, order your materials, get there and start building, and they go, oh no, you can't build this here. You know, oh no, this community don't want that, or oh no, you know. So let's just be smart, man. Let's take our time, do things with a little more foresight involved. All right, you guys go ahead and drop in the comments what you want to leave behind in 2020. How about that? I want you guys to do this, and we're actually gonna run this for a week. This is something that I just wanted to do for the end of the year. So I'm gonna do this for you all, my brothers and sisters. We're gonna do a giveaway. I'm gonna be giving away $100. I know it's not much, but I know somebody needs it. I'm gonna give away $100 between now and next week, or by next week. We're gonna do something called Goodbye 2020. All right, so I want you guys to post on our page using the hashtag Goodbye 2020. Or post on your page Goodbye 2020. It's Exodus time, and tell us what you want to leave in 2020. I know there's a lot of messed up stuff happening. We got all kinds of crazy racism going on. We got weird weather patterns. We got political drama. We've got worldwide global pandemic, and the list goes on. So you guys tell me what you want to leave in 2020 with the hashtag Goodbye 2020 and the hashtag It's Exodus Time. On next week's show on 12/29, I'm going to be giving away $100 to the best post. All right, so you can make it funny, you can make it dramatic, you can use memes, you can use photos, things you've seen, experienced. It can be sad, it can be emotional, but let's talk about it. We got about one more week before this year is up, and we want to shake off a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Sister how we closing this one out tonight?
Well, brother, I just wanted to say, thanks again for a wonderful show. I'm sorry I missed the first hour of it. But, we're going to have plenty more coming, during 2021. We got a lot more good topics, good shows coming. Y'all keep coming, keep listening, keep, sharing with us. Tell us if y'all have anything in particular y'all want us to talk about. Y'all send us some messages. If y'all got some topics y'all want us to address, send us a message, and we will see what we can do to get y'all some information on those things. I am so happy that we started this weekly show, and man, it's been wonderful being on with you, you two kings, you and Brother Foday and Brother RJ. Man, y'all just lift my spirits and give me that extra little oomph to keep on pushing on. And I'm just looking forward to 2021.
Absolutely, I know that's right. Looking towards the future. Miss Watson 804 says, Goodbye 2020. It's Exodus time. I'm leaving behind paying high rent for housing. Woo! I hear you, my sister. I know a lot of people out there can feel that. Let's leave renting behind. Period. It's time for ownership, and if we must rent, let's rent from our brothers and sisters, man. Let's rent from our families. Let's rent from our communities. Let's stop renting from other people. If you gotta rent, sometimes it's necessary, but let's rent from our own people, man. Let's at least keep that money in the community. So thanks, my sister, Miss Watson. You guys are inspirational. We love you guys. We do this for you all, Lorianne. This is completely due to us feeling like, there's a need for this type of information to be shared. We know it's not being commonly shared, and we've committed ourselves to sharing it. We're going to do so each and every Tuesday at the same time, right here on Exodus Radio. Myself, Sister Chief Foday, You can learn more about the Exodus Alliance at madeinafricaproject.com. Again, that website is madeinafricaproject.com. Sister Ya's website is sankofarepat.com, right? And Chief Foday is bsani.org. That's basani.org, bsani.org. You can look us all up. We're all on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. We're all still out here doing work on the ground. We are not just YouTubers. We all have very important roles that we play, and we enjoy taking this time out to share with y'all. So be blessed. We love y'all. Don't forget, post your posts. Goodbye 2020 is the hashtag, and it's Exodus time. Tell us what you're leaving in 2020. On next week's show, we're giving somebody $100. So get ready. A little giveaway for somebody special. All right. Take care, everybody. Africa is for Africans. Come home.
All right.